Adebola Williams is a media entrepreneur, journalist, political activist, and motivational speaker. He has been profiled by Forbes and CNN due to his advocacy for social change and democracy. He is the group CEO of RED and co-founder of Enough is Enough, Nigeria's foremost civic participation platform and premier voice for young people in politics. He also runs Red Africa, Africa's largest portfolio of youth media brands, which include Red Media Africa, Statecraft Inc., The Future Awards Africa, and whyniger.com. EPR Global welcomes Adebola Williams to the 2020 Emergence Conference, Illuminate.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me at this year's edition of EPR. It is indeed an honor to speak to all of you today. I am particularly excited that I am not just engaging insightful, innovative, and deep women, but particularly women who carry the DNA of our Maker, the Lord Jesus Christ, right inside of you. It is enough in itself to cause radical transformation in every sphere of influence. And so for that, I celebrate all of you. You know, this life faith that we live in is indeed a radical one. Many of us grew up thinking that change was contrary to living a devout Christian life. We rarely wanted to stick to the rock-like faith, solemn innocence of the old-time religion that was good enough for us. But change, that willingness to keep fighting, that humility to reevaluate time and seasons, that flexibility to evolve, paying close attention to the times that we're in, is the nucleus of a vibrant Christian walk. I remember a couple of years ago when Nathaniel Bassey came up with Hallelujah Challenge and caused major disruption in Christendom with his worship hour on Instagram. How come one young man, not even very known at the time, create a platform that drew up to 500,000 people every night when physical crusades of huge, successful general overseers couldn't physically draw that much in one place? That was a moment of change, disruptive change. And as leaders, we were called and even forced to change and to also lead change. Now, to be a change leader, the first thing I think you must do is to think like a change leader. Bold, big, and daring. Most outstanding change leaders have a takeover mindset. They don't settle for small, they don't measure in little, it's huge. They aren't trying to contain change. They want it to spread like wildfire. They want to infuse it in every singular and regular daily interaction to the most complex strategies. And to make contagious, you must start with a powerful, irresistible vision. That is the key to even setting the tone for change. Esther in the Bible had a big vision to save her people from execution. To many, she must have sounded crazy. This one ordinary woman with this big vision to change the destiny and the cause of her people. And she didn't just achieve this one day. It took months, took years of careful planning and preparation, which leads me to my next point. For you to cause change, you must be prepared to lead change. You must train yourself. You must build yourself. It was even the little things that Esther did up to her diet. The tactics of wisdom, the clear focus. For you to lead change, you must be blind to distractions. You must focus on everything you've outlined that will enable you achieve that change. Imagine if Esther had been derailed from her diet. How would the king have found that attractive? Every little thing in change matters. And so therefore, preparation, detailed preparation is important on the journey of change. It was those little things that Esther did that not only put her as the right-hand woman of the king, saved her people, and even elevated her cousin. In addition to compelling vision, to strategic planning and preparation, change leaders must also be ready to build trust with their followers. The people that you want to save must trust you. Change is about asking people to follow you to a place where even you as a leader haven't seen. You can only envision it. And it requires a lot of trust because the journey can be long, daunting, and even grueling. For 15 years, we have constantly worked with millions of young people around Africa who believe in our vision. And together we have changed the course of youth on the continent and created a slew of superstars. Young people who are the voices you see today, also rippling the effect of change generation to generation. People need to know that while you're on a mission to create mind-blowing transformation, you have their best interest at heart. Because my friends, I tell you ladies, this life is win-win. Everybody wants to win. So even when they put their trust in you, it's because they think that you will help them win. Without trust, no one, or perhaps just a few people, might go with you. Now, in building trust as a change leader, the next point you must note is to be your authentic self. For you to be a change leader, you must be your authentic self. And people would only buy into you when they get the true you. People are naturally drawn to leaders who are true and operating in the authentic self. In actual fact, operating in your authentic self and your position gives you wings to fly because you now do many of the things that you will struggle to do operating in another man's mission with ease. As a change leader, be willing to let people see you for who you truly are, even in your weak moments. People can connect and identify with the discomfort that you feel. And they can identify and therefore say that indeed, the process of change can be tough, quite frankly, scary, and therefore they can connect with your own moments where you show your real human face and together bond emotionally to follow you on that journey. Change also means being different and misunderstood. So whilst you want the trust of people, sometimes to lead radical change, you might not have that trust. You must choose to be bold and be ready to be called mad for your stance, but time will tell. Too many great men and women who have driven global change were referred to as crazy, as misfits, as weird, but change they made because it's uncomfortable, and part of the process of changing is being thick-skinned, ready to be jeered at, ready to be laughed at for what you believe. So the point is, change also means being different and being misunderstood. And the next point is, for you to truly be a leader that changes anything, you must root yourself firmly in your belief, grow thick skin, and be ready to wade off the noise of the market, as my mother would call it, Ariwoja. Because when you go into the market with a focus of buying something, many will come and draw you from left to right, offer you different wares. You need to focus. Be blind, like my friend Kobam says. Blindness is a gift. It helps you focus. For you to be a truly disruptive leader of change, you must learn to be blind. When Esther wanted to risk her life for her people by going into the king's chambers unannounced, she asked all the Jews and her maidens to pray for her. She asked them to fast. Esther recognized that this was a death sentence and she couldn't do it alone. As a change leader, never be afraid to ask for help. That's one. Secondly, never be afraid to also go to God to seek for help. In actual fact, Esther asked the people to pray with her, and God heard their voices. In asking for the people to help you, you never know how they will stand with you, and it will bring you the answer that you're looking for. The people's voices cried unto God. So one, Esther asked for help. Two, for you to be a leader of change, you must pray. You must fast. Now, praying as Christians who are trying to change systems and establishments that many are benefiting from. Never forget that. Never forget that when you want to change anything, you want to stop corruption, you want to end whatever it is you want to do, there are people who are benefiting from it. For you to cause change means that you're taking the livelihood of some other people. Means that you're causing some other people's sadness in some way, even though what they might be doing might not have been the best or the most advanced way. So imagine the people who created drones. They've put out the helicopters we used to hire, the cameraman that used to go and hang on the helicopter to film. They've taken their jobs away from them. So change will cause some establishments, some institutions loss. For you to make such changes, you also want to protect yourself as people who are smart and who are spiritually aware. Pray, fast, worship as much as possible. For these are tools of our warfare. As you know, the tools of our warfare is not carnal. We cannot fight them with their own tools when we have superior powers. The Lord has already told us, what we bound on earth is bound in heaven. We loose on earth is loose in heaven. We have the power. And we must activate that power in the place of prayers. Change leaders must go to battle with fervent prayers. And also with intercessors if you can, and prayer partners. Because while you're at war, you might need more people who are keeping the fire back home. The next point is that as change makers, you must also have the mindset of a world changer. You see, when Jesus gave us a great commission and he said we should go into the world and preach all the gospel, this doesn't mean that all of us must become missionaries. It means that in every sector that we stand, we must be change agents as the light of Christ. When he says, you are the light of the world, the salt of the earth, a city on a hill, what he means is that we are to cause change by adding salt to the bland and senseless world. We are to bring light to the dark and hopeless daily life that men experience in situations in our country. We are the city. We are the example. We are the standard. And even we are the safe space. You must always ask yourself, are you any of these things? If you were a teacher or you owned a school, how are you churning out the brightest and the best minds in the world to fulfill God's mandate for us to multiply and create? And multiply and create means innovation in medicine, creation in science. Because God will not come down to do it by himself. It means architecture, beautification. It means professionalism. When the Lord tasks us to have excellent spirit, how are you building a generation of young people from your school who will come out and become professionals, who you ask them to do something and they do it excellently? You must realize and ask yourself that in your little corner in your office or your grand table city view office, how are you affecting the value chain of the world with great change? Women, your roles are bigger than you might envision. God will not come down himself to help us with evolution. We are the ones that will deliver the future. So whatever you do, how are you delivering the best? You are an auditor in an organization. How are you ensuring that there are no leakages and backhand deals are closed? Whatever it is, whatever profession that you have, you are a government official. How are you ensuring that you, even if you don't hold your colleagues accountable, how are you ensuring that you deliver at the very best on the assignment that you have been tasked to deliver in your ministry, in your parastatal? How are you building legacy? You must realize that for every one young person that comes out of your school, they are a part of the global chain that will affect the world. Your roles are bigger. Your daily contributions have global effect. You are not ordinary. You are not here by chance. You are the reason. Every one of you is the reason. And this is not another motivational theory. This is real. You are salt. When salt stops adding taste, we throw it away. And because it's become useless. And if salt has taste, but it chooses to hide behind the cupboard, we simply go to the store and buy another one and replace. And you be replaced. You are the light. If you are a bulb and you've chosen to reduce your light and not brighten the whole room, we would either just leave you in the corner or we'll buy another lamp to support the room. God will be making the light and darkness change while you just maintain a little corner, barely making change. So you must think about these questions daily and ask yourself, have you refused to be the bright light that can change the world? You will either be kept or be thrown away. And if you choose to put your light under a bushel, even God said it in his mandate. He sent you to the world. He never sent you under your pillow. And that is why he cursed the servant who hid his one talent. Everything is given to us. He wants us to use it for the world. And interestingly, women are so instrumental to the fulfillment of God's agenda. You are the one with the biggest power to change a common semen into a full-grown human being. You are God, created after him what only him can do. You are actually a testament of God's work. You have the blueprint of creation. You are the ones with the magic wand. You are the ones to change the world. You are the multipliers, the visionaries, the planners. You are the magicians. My friends, you need no permission to do this. Just by being in itself, you are change makers. I go to the church and I see people dancing Bese and Bebody. And I wonder, if we are the salt of the earth and light of the world, if we are the city, the example, shouldn't we be the ones exporting our music and our dances to the nightclubs so that people in the nightclub can come to church rather than the other way where we export from the nightclub into the church and the people in the church end up in the nightclub? Why are we shrinking ourselves when we have so much power? When God has gifted us so much power, are we afraid of being misunderstood or being called misfits or being looked upon as weird? There is no great man I know, no great woman who wasn't misunderstood. But time will always tell. So as I close today, I want to remind you in the words of Marianne Williamson that our deepest fears is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fears is the fear that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that scares us. And your playing small does not serve the world, does not serve you, does not serve anybody. There is nothing enlightened about you shrinking yourself. We were born to manifest. We were born to disrupt. When God asked us to watch over the birds of the air and the fishes in the sea, to create, to multiply, to grow the world, he is not going to come down to do it himself. He's only going to do it through people, through us. And I believe women are positioned powerfully to make this change happen. There are too many statistics. From statistics that show that women-founded enterprises grow more successful than men, statistics that show that companies that have women on its board have a higher chance of being profitable. Statistics that show that countries led by women handled the COVID-19 pandemic better than those led by men. Statistics that show that children raised by women, single mothers, have a higher chance of being well brought up members of society, much more than those raised by single fathers. Too many statistics out there, my friends. So you must rise in your power. And so my question for you as I close today is for you to take a minute and think, in what ways are you championing change in your workspace that is affecting your office, your society, community, your state, your country, and even the world? In what ways have you lent your voice to issues affecting your colleague who is being maltreated for being a woman or for being young? Are you lending your voice to issues of equality? Are you lending your voice to governance, good governance in our country? And you have no reason to be afraid of the choices you've made in the past. Let no one guilt trip you. I can say that to you authoritatively. Your choices from today, your decisions from today is what matters. If you want to see a certain kind of leader in office, what are you doing to vote for those kinds of leaders? Is it just by pointing fingers and blaming other people? But are you getting up and galvanizing? Are you raising money? Are you educating people, printing flyers? Are you spending your $100 to do advertising to educate voters? Are you going to your village to go and do door-to-door election education? What are you doing? Are you empowering people, sending money home? If you want to change Nigeria, what are you doing to change Nigeria? Ask yourself. Stop pointing fingers. Stop waiting for other people. And never regret a choice you made in the past. Focus on the future. What next? What do I do? Are you keeping quiet when others are being killed? When things are going wrong? You might not speak in public, but are you speaking in private? Are you doing anything at all? Let no one judge you as far as you know you're doing something. Sleep well at night. So would you rather take that step into the unknown and allow God catch you as you fulfill his mandate of being there for other people, of clothing him when he's hungry, of clothing him when he's naked, and feeding him when he's hungry? Or would you rather choose to be another statistics who will just look and focus on himself, herself, and her family? Thank you.